sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Sportsmemo's Pro Football Forecast. This is the last show of the new year, guys, and we here at Sportsmemo want to wish all of you and your families a very happy and a very healthy new year. But, folks, grab that helmet, lace up those cleats, get ready to make some money in the NFL this weekend because we have an amazing show. Let me bring on this good-looking panel of all-stars. We've got Jeff Michaels, Moneyline Matt, and Rocky Atkinson. Jeff Michaels, Happy New Year to you and your family. How are you, buddy?
Good. Yeah. Happy New Year to you. I'm excited. Got some big college football action going this weekend, but also looking forward to this NFL card. So glad to be here with all you guys today.
Well, I'm glad to be here with you as well as with Matt and Rocky in this final show for Sportsmemo TV in 2022. Moneyline Matt, Happy New Year to you and your family. How you doing, buddy?
Thanks, Joe. Happy New Year to everyone on the show. I'm glad to be on the panel with you guys as always. And like you said, so is it right here? Yep, Michigan right here. Some big games coming up this weekend. And more than anything, though, really excited about this NFL card. I feel like there's some good angles this week, and I'm really excited to break it down with everyone and, of course, talk with you guys.
God, I love Moneyline Matt. I love his loyalty to his Detroit teams. Notice he brought up the Michigan sign, but he didn't say anything about the Detroit Pistons jersey over his shoulder. Gotta love you, Matt.
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit.
There you go. There you go. A lot of seasons left in the NBA, though. My good friend Rocky Atkinson, my second show with Rocky today. Happy New Year to you and your beautiful, beautiful family. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing good, Joe. Happy New Year to all you guys as well.
Well, I'm honored to be here with this great panel. Now, guys, before we get into 3 roundtable games in a best bet segment, I got a couple of quick announcements. You know how I love those afternoon quickies, especially on a Friday. First of all, every successful sports bettor and sports handicapper I know use the Gold Sheet, the oldest and the most respected of all the betting publications. After the show, www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. I say it every show because it's true, my friends. The customer appreciation at Sportsmemo is unrivaled. We know that saving you money just as good as making you money. We've got a couple of deals we'd like to tell you about. First of all, we are in the heart of the bowl campaign. And I want you to know you can go over to Sportsmemo after the show and follow any one of your favorite cappers for $99 for the rest of the bowl campaign. And I got to tell you, this is the biggest set of games between today, Saturday, and obviously this would cover the national title game as well. So follow your favorite capper or cappers, my friend. Let me put that up real quick. After the show, $99. Follow any of your favorite cappers. And Jeff and I are still excited, $2 Tuesday featured cappers over at Sportsmemo. Jeff Michaels, Joe D'Amico. We both have 5% plays locked and loaded over at Sportsmemo. $2 a piece. Jeff Michaels, Joe D'Amico. Finish your year on a high note with 2 of the best-looking and most documented winning cappers on the planet. Jeff, I love making Jeff laugh. My friends, before we get into some free plays, here are a couple pro football line moves this week from my good friends over at the Superbook at the Westgate Hotel and Casino. It is my favorite sports book in the world, guys. Whether you live here locally in Southern Nevada or you're just visiting, you go over to the Superbook, I promise you. Bring a sleeping bag and some pajamas. You don't even need a room. You can just sleep right there in the book. I tell you, that's how much fun it is there. Now, we talk about each show that line movements are made because of weather conditions, injuries. But these 3 specific line movements in the NFL this weekend were made by the wise guys, the sharp money, the smart money players here in Southern Nevada. We wanted to make you aware of them. First of all, the Patriots went from 1.5 up to 2.5. Now, a little bit of this was bet back down because it did go up to 3 at even money. They bet it back down. You never know if they're looking to bet both sides of the game. So they're all over the Patriots. The Niners went from 5.5 up to 9.5. The sharps are saying San Fran can't lose this week. And then the Steelers from +4.5 down to +2.5. The wise guys are all over Pittsburgh. So once again, New England, San Francisco, and Pittsburgh, those are your 3 wise guy money moves. Guys, 3 wonderful roundtable games that our cappers are going to be predicting, and then our best bet segment. If you miss any portion of the roundtable segment, I will read everybody's predictions after the 3rd roundtable game. Our first roundtable game, guys, it's true, the NFC South fell a little bit short of expectations this season, but the Panthers effectively move into first place with the win here, and the Bucs can clinch if they win as well. Carolina took the October 22nd meeting 21-3, but you know how I like a big but lost and failed to cover the previous 4 meetings. We're going to Panthers at Bucs Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently, Tampa Bay -3.5, total 40.5. We're going to go to the Southern Assassin, Rocky Atkinson. Rocky, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, Carolina's coming in 6-9 straight up this year. Tampa Bay 7-8 on the season. You know, Carolina fired their head coach. They sent their star running back Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers, and here they are competing for the division title under the direction of interim head coach Steve Wilks, who is now 5-5 since taking over. With a win here, Tom Brady and Tampa Bay will clinch the NFC South Division title. Carolina beat Tampa Bay 21-3 earlier this year, just like you said. So Brady and the Bucs, I think they're going to be seeking a little revenge in this one. It feels like Tom Brady's having a very bad season, but he's actually completed 66% of his passes for 4,178 yards. He has 21 touchdowns, but he does have 9 interceptions on the season. I think he gets up for this game, puts up some big numbers. Carolina 1-5 straight up on the road this year, where they allow 26.5 points per game. Carolina's 3-7 against spread last 10 road games. They're 10-25 against spread last 35 games against teams with a losing record, and they're 1-5 against spread last 6 games after scoring more than 30 points in their previous game. Tampa Bay 4-1 straight up and against the spread overall versus Carolina the past 3 years, including 2-0 straight up and against the spread at home. The favorite is 5-1 against spread the last 6 meetings in this series. I'm going to recommend playing Tampa Bay minus the points in this one.
Rocky Atkinson, the Southern Assassin, says revenge. And maybe Tom Brady could get a little revenge on Giselle here with a big win. Says take the Buccaneers minus the points. We're going to go over my good friend Jeff Michaels. Jeff, Panthers, Buccaneers, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently 3.5, 40.5. Take it away, Jeff Michaels.
Yeah, you know, a couple of things that Rocky, you touched on there quickly were a couple big things that stood out to me. I mean, Brady has put up some pretty decent numbers this year, but it's almost comical when you look at Tom Brady, you look at the weapons that they have at wide receiver, and you look at their offensive line, which granted has had a few run-ins with injuries, but they're just 1-8 against the spread this season, playing against bad passing defenses, which would be passing defenses that are allowing 61% or better. But the teams that he and this offense should be taking advantage of, they just haven't been able to. I mean, they're 1-11 against the spread playing on grass this season. And Tampa Bay hasn't covered a home game yet this year. So those did stand out to me. And you look at a Carolina offense that hasn't turned the ball over in 3 weeks. That's been one of the biggest issues for this Tampa Bay team over that stretch, the last 3 weeks at least at the bare minimum. But Carolina hasn't lost a fumble or thrown an interception in the last 3 games. And you add in the fact that they probably didn't have the quarterback that they thought that they were going to play with at the beginning of the season. You know, Baker's on his 3rd team in what, the last 16 months. But I think I got to be looking at the under in this one. I mean, there's been a lot of talk. If you guys follow Kelly on Twitter, there's been a lot of talk about those divisional unders. But Tampa Bay, 2-11 over under as a favorite under Todd Bowles. They're 1-9 against the division, and they're 0-6 over under against teams with a losing record. So I think I might be leaning towards the under in this one, staying away from that side with what Carolina has done and making a potential run to go at this struggling division.
Wonderful breakdown from Jeff Michaels, what we've come to expect from him. Our $2 Tuesday feature capper, that play still available. We'll tell you more about that during his best bet segment. Jeff says a lean on the under. Good breakdowns by both Rocky and Jeff, what we come to expect from both of these guys. Guys, don't go anywhere. We have 2 more roundtable games and our best bet segment. And as I mentioned earlier, if you miss any of the roundtable games, I'll run down all of our pros predictions after the 3rd round. Our second roundtable game, oops, they did it again. No, it's not a Britney Spears hit. Minnesota got another win last week. Was it luck or was it skill? No matter what you say about the team, they still have notched 12 victory so far this season. But Green Bay, with a late season surge, back in the playoff race, looking for revenge. This season's opening day, 23-7 embarrassing loss. The home team has covered 9 of the last 13 meetings. We're talking Vikings, Packers, Sunday, 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Green Bay 3 minus $1.20. Total of 48. Moneyline Matt, take it away.
Yeah, I appreciate it as always, Joe. And for me, you know, I always like to point this out because this is one of those games where it definitely comes down to the hook for me. If it was a 3.5, I might be Vikings, but right now it's a -3, and I'm backing the Packers in this spot. And a lot of it does come down to the situation as well. For the Minnesota Vikings, they've now won 2 games in a row, even though they weren't the most impressive wins. I mean, of course, it's impressive to come back against the Indianapolis Colts, but I think it's more impressive that the Colts actually somehow found a way to give that up. They're now 12-3 on the season, 6-7-1 against the spread. And with that being said, they're also 2-2-1 against the spread on the road. As for the Green Bay Packers, this is a team that is 7-8 overall. And to Joe's point, they are now in the playoff hunt and scratching and clawing to try and get in there. Because of that, I think the Green Bay Packers have a lot more to play for in this matchup. The Vikings have clinched the division with their 12-3 record and honestly have very little hope to grab that number 1 seed from the Eagles. They need the Eagles to lose out, and then the Vikings would need to win the remaining games. And there's other teams that would come into that picture as well. And if you remember, the Eagles dominated the Vikings earlier in the season, so they would also own that tiebreaker. So part of me does wonder, it's a rivalry game. You're coming into Green Bay, and if you're the Vikings, you definitely want to go out and get that win. But even if you don't, there's always that part in the back of your mind where it's like, well, we're okay anyways. You know what I mean? And for the Green Bay Packers, they don't have that little angel on the shoulder or the devil on their shoulder talking to them, because they need to get these wins to get in, and I'll be honest, I do like what I've been seeing from the Green Bay Packers. I think they were a little fortunate last week that Tua potentially had a concussion, but, coming back and beating the Dolphins in that fashion, I think this team has a lot of confidence right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Aaron Rodgers and Christian Watson. They still got Allen Lazard, and now Romeo Doubs is back on top of that. So they do actually have a decent receiving core at this point in time. They're starting to generate some chemistry. And then on top of that, you got running backs like Aaron Jones, who's a dual threat in the backfield, out of the backfield. And then A.J. Dillon's been playing really well on top of that. And then for this Green Bay defense as well, I think they're starting to become a more confident unit. You saw Jair Alexander call out Justin Jefferson, essentially saying his last game was a fluke, which, again, I don't think is the smartest thing in the world. But, again, you got to be a confident man to go out and make that call out. It means this defense is ready. It means this defense is prepared at home. They're ready to rock. So when I see stuff like that, it really does make me look to Green Bay, and I think this is actually going to be an official play for me with the Green Bay Packers. And one other thing that I wanted to point out, and it's an angle that I liked for this game, I'm really I'm looking at the books waiting for the Dalvin Cook rushing prop to drop, because I think he's going to have a very good game against this Green Bay Packers rushing defense. They are ranked 27th in rushing yards given up throughout the season. And if I were to guess, I think Dalvin Cook's rushing line would be around 78.5 rushing yards, somewhere in there. So I do expect Cook to have a good game. But all in all, I am definitely with the Green Bay Packers -3 here. I think they're getting right at the correct time, ramping things up, heading into the playoffs potentially. But they need to get this win first. So I think they're focused on this win. I think they're also focused on a little bit of revenge. If you remember, the Vikings beat the Green Bay Packers 23-7 earlier in the season. So I'm with Aaron Rodgers here, and I'm with the Green Bay Packers at home to get this win over the Minnesota Vikings.
Great stuff from Moneyline Matt, one of the sharpest minds in sports betting today. He says revenge will play a part in why he likes the Packers. I'm Sicilian, Matt. I know a lot about revenge. You spoke about the angel and devil on your shoulder. My angel is in therapy. My devil liked me so much he moved in. Great breakdown, great analysis, what we've come to expect from you, my friend. We're going to go to my dear friend, one of the most successful cappers in the history of the NFL. Just amazing. The guy, we talk about the white whale hitting 70%. Rocky does that for a living. He hit 70% a couple of times for the NFL season. He's going to tell you his breakdown. Vikings, Packers, Sunday, 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Green Bay, 3 minus $1.20. Total 48. Rocky, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I have to agree with Moneyline Matt in this one. I'm going to take Green Bay minus the points here. Minnesota 12-3 overall this year. Green Bay 7-8 overall in the season. Green Bay's off a 26-20 win in Miami this past week, while Minnesota beat the New York Giants at home 27-24. Green Bay 3-0 straight up their last 3 games overall, where they're scoring 26 points per game. Not sure if our viewers remember, but a few weeks ago here on the show, I told everyone that Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay would not go down without a fight, but that it would be tough to make the playoffs, though. They beat Miami, which I didn't think they would be able to do, and here they are. Rodgers is a little banged up after last week. He's been limited in practice so far this week, but all indications are that he will play on Sunday. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Rodgers has completed 65% of his passes this year, 3,331 yards. He has 24 touchdowns, but he has thrown 11 interceptions. Minnesota 3-10 against the spread of the last 13 games against teams with a losing record. Minnesota 1-5 against spread of the last 6 road games against a team with a losing home record. Green Bay 17-7 against the spread of the last 24 games when playing on grass. The home team is 9-4 against spread of the last 13 meetings in this series. Green Bay 9-4 against spread of the last 13 meetings at home versus Minnesota. I'm going to recommend playing the Green Bay Packers minus the points here.
Rocky Atkinson, the Southern Assassin, says great minds think alike. He and Moneyline Matt both like the Packers here. Great stuff. Sports fans, don't go anywhere. We have another roundtable game, then our best bet segment. Guys, I got to tell you, this third roundtable game, I looked at it, and I'm pretty damn good handicapper myself, and I was perplexed. So I really want to see what our handicap. You like that, Matt? Perplexed? Well, I really want to see what our cappers here on the show have to say about it. Big playoff implications on the line in the Sunday night late game, guys. AFC North rivalry. Ravens clinched wild card, but can take the division by winning out. Steelers, as of now, alive, but a Miami win over New England would knock them out and possibly change their starting personnel in this game. It's a lot to take in on this one. The dog, 26-3 ATS, the last 29 meetings in this rivalry. Steelers, Ravens, Sunday, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Baltimore, 2.5, 38. Let's go to my good friend, Jeff Michaels.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. This is definitely an interesting one in a division that I was paying a lot more attention to up until, well, let's say last week. But, Pittsburgh, Baltimore playing in the Sunday night game for a reason, another big divisional matchup. But, Pittsburgh is taking that same kind of swing like Rocky mentioned with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They're not going down without a fight. They've won and covered 4 out of the last 5 games and 5 out of the last 7. But now they do run into a Baltimore team that may be playing as hot, if not hotter. There are those injury concerns on both sides of the ball. But Baltimore's won 3 out of their last 4. They've won 7 out of their last 9. But they have struggled to cover the spread. They're just 2-4 against the spread in the last 6, and they're 4-7-1 against the spread in the last 12. But it was kind of surprising to me and impressive that Pittsburgh has covered back-to-back meetings in Baltimore. So they've gotten the job done. Even you look back to those last couple of years where they weren't as competitive. But the biggest thing, Pittsburgh 14-46 against the spread when they allow 150 rushing yards or more. That does go back almost 15 years, I believe. But the last 60 games, they're covering just 37% of those. And Baltimore has done that in 12 out of the last 14 weeks. So that includes their win and cover against Pittsburgh on December 11th. So I do think that if Baltimore gets their rushing game going, they have a shot to win and cover this game. But it would be somewhere that I might be looking at an under 2 as well, in another divisional type matchup that the team trends do kind of follow that suit of that league-wide trend. But I think I'm leaning Baltimore in this one over Pittsburgh minus those points.
Jeff Michaels says a small lean on Baltimore and possibly an under, but if you had to twist his arm, a lean on Baltimore. Great breakdown, Jeff. Thank you very much. What we come to expect from you. We're going to go over to Moneyline Matt. Moneyline Matt, I've noticed, though, 3.5 on a first round table game, a 3 minus $1.20 on a second, a 2.5 on this game. These lines, these odds makers are really looking to make us make a decision here this week in the NFL. Steelers, Ravens, Sunday, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Baltimore, 2.5, 38. Matt, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. And I completely agree. This game definitely perplexes me as well. But, but one thing I will say is with these games, these outdoor stadiums with the low spreads, one strategy that I've definitely had is teasing the underdog and giving them a 6-point teaser or 7-point teaser and combining them. And it's been very good this time of year so far. So that's one thing I just wanted to mention. If you're not comfortable with the Steelers at plus 2.5. You always have an option to do a 6-point, 7-point teaser, something along those lines. And I'm sure you'll feel a lot more comfortable with an 8.5 or something like that. But because for me, this is a game, the spread, I really don't want anything to do with. And I'm actually looking to the total here, kind of to Jeff's point. The 7-8 Steelers travel on the road to face off against the 10-5 Ravens. And this game will be played in Baltimore, and the Ravens will once again be without star quarterback Lamar Jackson. And this is a team that is recently coming off a 17-9 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. And in late November, this Ravens team beat the Steelers 16-14. And I think we're going to have a similar outcome in this matchup. And when I say similar outcome, I'm actually referring to the under. Okay, the last 5 of 6 Ravens games have gone under 30 points, and 3 of those games have actually gone under 20 points. So if this were a game to go in the hands of Kenny Pickett or something along those lines, I don't think he's going to be able to score enough points to hit this over against a Baltimore Ravens defense. And then I look at this Baltimore Ravens offense and Tyler Huntley. I don't think they're going to be able to score enough points as well when facing a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. This says 38 points on the screen. I actually think it's a 35-point total. At least that's what I saw it at or got it at earlier. And I'm still completely fine going under this 35-point total. This is a Ravens team that since Lamar Jackson has gone down, they have scored a high of 17 points. Okay. So that's I think it was a 4-game sample size there. And once again, this is just one of those spots where I don't see the Baltimore Ravens scoring more than 17 points. If the only team that I can see actually scoring more than 17 in my eyes would actually be the Steelers. And if that even occurred, say they scored 20 points or something like that, you can still have a 21-10 finish, a 21-13 finish, or something along those lines. This is an outdoor game in Baltimore. They're actually going to have pretty nice weather. But again, to Jeff's point, this is an old school rivalry game, and I think that's what we're going to see, some old school Ravens and Steelers football, with like back in the day with Ray Lewis and Troy Polamalu. And I think it's going to be very low scoring. I don't even think this total will be a sweat, if I'm being honest. I think this is going to go way under a 35 and could be one of those games that finishes under 20 once again. So for me, I'm not going with any side here, and I'm going to go with the under 35 points. This is an official play for me as well.
Moneyline Matt says under. So I'm and Jeff both kind of agree there. Guys, I want to apologize. About 90 minutes ago, I saw 38s everywhere. I did the batters on the show. It is down to 35. So in the last 90 minutes, they're betting this down now.
Yeah, I wish I got that 38.
Yeah, right. Tell me about it. Well, hindsight, I'll tell you what. But we appreciate that, Matt. Great stuff. Sports fans, let me go over the 3 roundtable games. Then we're going to go to our best bets. Our first roundtable game, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Panthers at Buccaneers, Tampa Bay 3.5, 40.5. Rocky says the Buccaneers for some revenge there. Jeff says he likes the under in the game. Our second roundtable game, Vikings at Packers, Sunday 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Green Bay -3, -$1.20. They're hesitating about putting that 3.5 up, aren't they, guys? Total 48. Matt and Rocky both agree. Green all the way. Packers. They're surging. They're striding at the right time. Our third roundtable game. Steelers at Ravens. Sunday, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2.5 and 35. Jeff said he leans on Baltimore. If you twist his arm, you go under. Matt said definitely an under no matter how low it, well, at this point, under, guys. Guys, that's our roundtable segment. We're going to our best bets, my friends. I want to talk about my friend Rocky Atkinson. Rocky and I have been friends for many years. We became friends because we had a mutual respect for one another. Rocky, we talk about all the time, and he's not going to toot his own horn. He's a humble guy. 70% in the NFL, not once but twice over the last few years. That's for the season, guys. Not for a week or a month. That's for the season. I know that we did a show this morning. He said he was very disappointed right now that he's at 57%. Guys, I just want to give you guys a little behind the scenes, behind the curtain here, guys. If you had 54, 55, 56%, you'll be good enough to be the number one capper on your website. Rocky right now is at 57%, but I got to tell you something. Odds are 6-5 pick him. He's going to be over 60% by the time this season ends. He is a winner. He's going to tell you what you can expect from him. He's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what you can expect from him on the premium side at Sportsmemo. He's got a free best bet. Rocky Atkinson, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, like you said, I'm disappointed. 57% this year at the moment. 70% all NFL last year. But I had a little run there, a little stretch where I lost 3 weeks in a row. That I was hitting 70% again this year, and I lost 3 weekends in a row. Actually won this past week to get me to 57%. I'm gonna try to get to that 60% mark by the season's end, and hopefully we'll have some people following us there. The game I'm looking at for my best bet, Jacksonville at Houston on Sunday. I'm looking to take Houston plus the points here. Jacksonville 7-8 straight up overall this year. Houston comes in 2-12 overall this season. Houston is off a 19-14 win in Tennessee this past weekend, while Jacksonville won 19-3 in New York against the Jets. 2 weeks ago, Houston lost by only 6 to a very solid Kansas City team, and the week before that lost by 4 to a good Dallas team in Dallas. They have averaged 22 points per game the past 3 weeks against 3 solid defensive units. Texans head coach Lovie Smith said he's not interested in tanking to get the number 1 draft pick next year. What he said was it's more important to him to finish with a winning record in the division this year. Jacksonville's 0-6 straight up and against the spread the last 3 years as a favorite. Jacksonville 3-21 straight up on the road the last 3 years. All 3 of those wins coming this season. Houston, as I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, 2-1 against division opponents this year. So they have a winning record against the division where they're allowing only 14.3 points per game this season. Houston 5-0 straight up and against the spread. 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the spread overall versus Jacksonville the last 3 years, including 2-0 straight up and against the spread at home against the Jags. Houston has won 9 straight over this Jacksonville club dating back to 2018. I'm going to play Houston plus the points as my best bet for the show.
My good friend Rocky Atkinson says he's playing Houston as his best bet. Guys, he breaks down a game. He's got something for every type of player out there, guys. Trend, streaks, a street smart edge, and that's why he's one of the best in the history of this business. And guys, just want you to know, he said he's disappointed at 57%. I'm in the sports books here in Vegas every single day. I know guys that would give their limbs. They would sell their children to hit 57%. He's disappointed with. That's how great he is. Rocky's going to stick around till the end of the show. Guys, I'm going to tell you, this is the best collection of cappers anywhere on the planet. I was just informed by our producer, Chris, we have another wonderful customer appreciation discount. NY39 at checkout. 3 days, all sports access for any of your favorite cappers. $39. You can't beat that with a bat. I'm going to tell you right now. They just keep piling in these customer appreciation discounts, and they shock the hell out of me. I'll tell you that right now. Guys, without any further ado, my good friend Jeff Michaels, he is doing some great work. 3 day, 7 day, 30. Doesn't matter the sport. He's all over the Sportsmemo leaderboards. He's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what you could expect from him on the premium side. And he's going to give you another free best bet. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, I appreciate it because we've been running hot without question. Right now, number 2 capper on the site in the month of December. And one of my biggest college football plays of the year kicks off in about 30 seconds, I believe, in that Arizona Bowl. So looking forward to that one. Still have that 5% $2 Tuesday teaser. 17-1 run there. We've won 9 straight teasers, and that goes on Sunday in the NFL. So like Joe said earlier, $2, and myself and Joe are still up and available for sale. Mine will kick off on Sunday, so make sure you guys go grab that if you haven't already. But as far as my best bet goes, guys, I'm going back to that game that I didn't talk about. And I'm going to chime in there with Rocky and Moneyline Matt. And I'm actually going to disagree. And I'm going to look at these Minnesota Vikings against Green Bay in that middle round table game we were talking about. I just happened to double check, and it looks now, I even sent this line to Joe earlier, so I'll take the fault for this one. But money's coming in on Minnesota. That line looks like it's 2.5 now, and I saw 3.5 earlier today. So headed towards Minnesota. And a couple of the big things that stood out to me, Minnesota's got the number 6 passing attack in the league. Granted, Green Bay's passing defense has been impressive this year, but this Minnesota offense just put up good numbers against an Indianapolis secondary that has played well against the pass. They may not have the best defense in the league, but their pass game has been impressive. And, Matt mentioned it earlier in his roundtable aspect. This offense still has Dalvin Cook. I mean, their rushing numbers haven't been the most impressive this year, but that has been more, in my opinion, because they've focused on Justin Jefferson and the passing game and really emphasized that and kind of gotten away from that rush. So I think it's a big opportunity for Cook. Green Bay, Rodgers is on that injury list, questionable. Aaron Jones is on that list, is questionable. Christian Watson is questionable. So there are some injuries there, and I think that this injury to Jalen Hurts is having a big effect on some teams, because some of these teams that, Dallas and Minnesota, that really didn't think that they were going to have any chance to be fighting for a number one contender spot. Matt mentioned it. It may not be an easy road for them to get to that number one spot, but it's an easier road now that Jalen Hurts has, his health has been put into question for the last couple of games. And the one thing I'll leave you with, a little TNA, teams off an upset win, like Green Bay is, playing against a division opponent as a favorite when they lost the previous head-to-head matchup by 2 touchdowns or more, 10-17-1 against the spread in the last 28. So I'm going Minnesota here.
Wow, Jeff Michaels said he likes the Vikings. Guys, I love the way Jeff breaks down a game. I know you do too. All over those leaderboards at Sportsmemo after the show. Use that great customer appreciation discount. I'd like you to stay for a longer stay, maybe a 30-day stay with Jeff. But that one that just popped up, 3-day all sports access, $39. Guys, go follow Jeff after this show. I promise you'll come back for a longer stay. Having said that, my good friend Moneyline Matt, he's another guy, no stranger to the Sportsmemo leaderboards, guys. He specializes quite a bit in NFL. He does some NBA and stuff, a lot of props, but he is all over the place. I know a few weeks back he was on a 16-1 run, if I'm not mistaken, Matt. Yeah. Is that correct? 16-1 run. I know that he fell off one day. We did a show together, and he came right back, and he started streaking again, guys. But the integrity that you get from a guy like Moneyline Matt, man, it's unrivaled, and I love him. All right, he's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what you can expect from him on the premium side. He's got a free best bet for you. Moneyline Matt, take it away.
Yeah, thanks as always, Joe. And honestly, great breakdowns, guys. Those were awesome. And so right now I am number 1 30 days NFL on the Sportsmemo leaderboard. I'm number 1 NBA last 7 days. I think number 1 or number 2 NBA last 3 days. So running really hot right now. And one of the games that I am looking to this weekend is actually the Carolina Panthers against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And in this matchup, the Carolina Panthers travel on the road to face off against the Tampa Bay Bucks and, of course, Tom Brady. And this is a spot where the Panthers are 6-9 overall on the season and 8-7 against the spread. The Panthers are now 1 game back from the Bucks in the NFC South, with playoffs potentially on the line. And as for the Buccaneers, this is a team that is 7-8 on the season and 3-11-1 against the spread. I'm done trying to pick the spots with the Bucks. I'm absolutely done, and I'm going the opposite way. I feel, and honestly, the fact that the Panthers get the hook with it as well, the 3.5, it makes me feel that much more comfortable, because this is just a Bucks team that I don't see beating really anyone by 3 or more points at this point in time. Sharp action and money are both coming in on the Panthers, and it's something that I personally can't disagree with, because the Bucks have also lost the spread in 5 straight games. And the Bucks have been one of those teams all season long where game after game after game, you think they're going to improve. You think they're going to beat a team by 7 points. You think they're going to beat a team by 10 points. You think Tom Brady is going to start making those throws that he typically makes, those over-the-shoulder streak routes to Mike Evans, those 15-yard outs to Evans and Godwin and Julio Jones. And they're just not coming. They're really not. And I'm not going to sit here and wish for something to happen that I just don't think is going to happen anymore. And that's why I have turned to the Carolina Panthers. And I feel pretty good about this pick as well, and now that the Panthers have Sam Darnold, they've had him for a couple games as well. They're only generating more chemistry, more synergy, and then they actually have a pretty solid dual threat backfield at this point in time. When Christian McCaffrey left, I thought their run game went with it, I'll be honest. But when you have someone like Deonta Foreman, who's kind of like the thunder, the in between the tackles, he'll run you over. He's that guy that hurts to tackle. And then you have Chuba Hubbard as well as the lightning, the guy who kind of gets out on the edge, the guy who gets the swing routes. He's good at catching the ball out of the backfield as well. And, and then I go and I look at the Bucs, and their run game is just not there, and I don't think it's coming. I think Leonard Fournette looks kind of fat. He looks out of shape. He's slow, and, I just don't really get behind it. So for me at this point in time, all season long, I thought this Tampa Bay team was going to come along. I thought the Michigan man, Tom Brady, was going to start bringing this team up and doing some things. And this is just a Tampa Bay team who's had situations like this before. They've had games where, okay, you think they're going to go out and play well, and it's a must-win situation. And it just hasn't happened. So because of that, I'm riding with the hotter team here, and I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold, and I think they have the better defense right now. I think they have the better run game right now, which is very important. You've heard me talk about this time and time again. When you have that run game, when you get it going, you can run a little play-action attack, and it allows guys like DJ Moore to get open down the field. He's a very slept-on receiver because he's with the Carolina Panthers. I like him to make a couple plays in this game. But again, I'm backing the Panthers here at +3.5.
Moneyline Matt, I told you one of the sharpest minds in sports betting today says he's going the Panthers. Great stuff from Moneyline Matt. All over those leaderboard leader, as we say, over at Sportsmemo. Great guy to use for those great customer appreciation discounts after the show. Go follow Moneyline Matt. You'll follow him to the bank. Guys, turn down the volume. It's the last breakdown of the last game of the 2022 year, and Joe D'Amico is going to do it for you. I'm going to tell you right now, excited ain't the word. You ain't going to need any champagne tomorrow night because I'm going to get you going into the new year. My friends, once again, this college football bowl season, I'm making you money with my premium releases hitting over 62.5%. I've got for today, Friday, the Orange Bowl matchup already posted between the Clemson Tigers and Tennessee Volunteers. I feel strongly about this play. Go get it. Take advantage of those customer appreciation discounts. I have my CFP cash money play posted as my $2 Tuesday play. It's going to be available through Saturday. I mentioned before, a game of this caliber would normally be considered a game of the year situation. We don't do games of the year here at Sports Memo, so I put up as high as a name as I could. My cash money play. I'll grab it right now. $2, you'll win big. I have a 10% bowl game of the season posted for tomorrow. This year, 18-4 in 10% releases. I've got a 5% play in the Music City Bowl. Right after the show, I'm putting up a 5% play on the Ohio State-Georgia matchup. And I will have 2 to 3 big games Sunday in the NFL posted this evening. Now, having said all that, guys, I want to talk about the Monday night game. Now, my crown is in the garage. As you all know, the king of Monday Night Football has not dropped a Monday Night Football premium release since early October. How long is that? Is it October, November, December? Going into January. Wow! I even started this week off with a big winner for all of you with the Chargers on Monday night. For my best bet for the show, we're going to go to one of the biggest matchups this week in the NFL on Monday as the Bills travel to where? Paycor Stadium to face the Bengals. Guys, currently, Buffalo holds the number 1 seed in the AFC after winning the past 6 games, while Cincy, guys, they own the number 3 seed following 7 straight victories. Both teams obviously are motivated here. The Bills want that number 1 spot, while the Bengals, although have wrapped up a playoff berth, are still playing for what? The AFC North title, a first-round bye, and still has a shot at the best overall record with winning this game and some help. I doubt that any of the Cincinnati players are happy about the fact that they're playing at home, and yet they come into this game a 1-point underdog. Folks, understand that this team has won 5 in a row straight up in where? The jungle, covering 9 of their last 10. This includes a 1-0 mark as a home dog. Very simply, I think this game comes down to 2 things. Number 1, defense. And I feel the Bengals possess a little bit better overall of a defense and certainly a little healthier right now. Number 2, both teams are so similar statistically, except for one major disparity. Go check this, guys. The Bills rank 30th in the league, committing over 24 turnovers. Meanwhile, the Bengals, they snagged 20 takeaways already. This matchup favors one side, and that's Cincinnati. Makes you think, doesn't it? On the flip side, Cincinnati does not turn the ball over very often. So being the fact that Cincy owns a bit better of a defense, commits less turnovers, I like them here on Monday night. Oh, one more thing, guys. We talked about how good the Bengals are at home, both straight up and against the spread. The Bills have only covered 3 of the last 7 as a true visitor this season. Take the Bengals, folks, and take your bookmakers' money. That's all I've got to say about that, my friends. Guys, it is the last show for Sportsmemo TV in the 2022 year. So I'd like to get some closing thoughts and comments from all of our panelists. Then I'm going to take you on out of here in time for you to get down on all these free winners you got from this amazing panel of winning cappers. Jeff Michaels, closing thoughts and comments.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in this year. Everybody be safe. Have a happy new year. And that $3 deal, guys, perfect opportunity. I got a 10% bowl game going on Monday, too, as well as my 5% $2 Tuesday NFL play. So lock them up both, $39, get 3 days, and then go grab these other 3 guys while you're there, too.
I love that. Jeff Michaels, like he's the lead singer of the band. And the other 3 guys. I love Jeff Michaels. He's a winner, guys. Jeff, I wanted, on a personal note, it was a pleasure to share all these Sportsmemo TV shows with you this year, and I look forward to doing a lot more things with you next year here at Sportsmemo. Moneyline Matt, closing thoughts and comments.
Yeah, I just want to say I hope everyone has a happy and safe new year. And, I'm kind of the rookie here over at Sportsmemo and Wager Talk. And I just want to say how much I appreciate doing the shows with everyone here and everyone throughout the company that I've done the shows with. And, I've learned a lot along the way as well. And, everyone who tunes in and supports myself and supports other people from the Sportsmemo and Wager Talk brand, I greatly appreciate that as well, whether it's here, whether it's over on Twitter, whatever it may be. We're not here without you guys, and we really do appreciate that. And one last thought I want to leave you guys with is those teasers. All right. Think about those teasers this weekend with those underdogs in those outdoor stadiums. I already have around 4 or 5 NFL plays up. Like I was saying, top NFL guy last 30 days. And got to add my teaser still. That's one thing that's been hitting pretty good so far. And if you're not into my plays, make sure you check out everyone else on this panel or other people around the Sportsmemo brand. I think if you shop around and you check out some people, some picks, plays, stuff like that, you're definitely going to find someone who fits you. So again, guys, I appreciate you tuning into the show as always, and I'm always glad to be here with you guys.
Moneyline Matt, you might be the rookie on here in a new edition, but you're a wonderful addition. We appreciate you. But I do notice that every show you remind me that you're a lot younger than me. So I appreciate that. Just kidding, Matt. Guys, Matt is wonderful, and we look forward to doing a lot more things with you next year. Matt, my good friend, one of my oldest friends in this business, that's for sure, and one of my favorite people on the planet, Rocky Atkinson. Closing thoughts and comments, please.
Yeah, and first off, we just appreciate all that you do as for hosting these shows for us. And I know you thank everybody else all the time, but we thank you for all that you do. We thank Chris back in the studio for everything that he does, and the rest of the crew back there. Enjoyed doing shows with Jeff and Moneyline Matt this year, and you, Joe. Thank you to our viewers. I mean, without you, we're nothing. And we appreciate you coming and watching us each and every day, I guess, or every week. And hopefully we'll cash some winners this weekend. Be safe out there this weekend if you're doing something you probably shouldn't be doing, but we'll see you next year for sure.
Rocky, I want to thank you for bringing class and integrity, not just to this business, but to this planet. You are one of the most genuine and wonderful people in this world, and we are all better for knowing you. So thank you. Sports fans, it's about that time. Don't forget to tune in to all of Sportsmemo TV's amazing content. Hit that subscribe button to get a reminder. You don't want to miss any of our cappers, free winners, or betting insights. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Remember, increase your chances of making a profit. Follow the best collection of cappers anywhere on the planet here at Sportsmemo. Because we don't go gambling, my friends, we go winning. On behalf of Sportsmemo, Jeff, Rocky, Matt, and me, Joe D'Amico, everyone out there, a happy and healthy new year. Good luck and have a winning day.